Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to day 12 of the Advent calendar. All righty. So, welcome, everybody. Thank you, everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So, welcome, welcome. So, today is the new moon. Yes, it's a new moon in Sag. And thank you to to everybody who got their new moon reading. So you should have gotten your new moon reading. It would have been in your inbox. And I did have a special on that. So if you missed it, sorry. So but there will be more specials and stuff coming up. We do have a full moon reading that will be coming up, and it'll be on Christmas Eve. It'll be sent out, and that one is for the full moon on the 26th. So it'll be a full moon in Cancer. That's going to be some cray beautiful energy, shall we say. So what is up today? What is up today? So we got a little bit of shenanigans as always, but it's actually this moon is a, and I haven't done this for a while. This is a haven't said this for. It is a very beautiful moon. It is um it's a moon that we can step into to really bring forth to fruition that we are wanting to create. And we're going to do a little bit of a ritual today, and with simple things that you may have in and around your home to utilize. And that's the beautiful thing. And of course, the dog must be getting a delivery or something because the dog upstairs is going crazy. Mine knows it's going to get in trouble because she's gotten in trouble already today. But, anyways, my big thing about doing any types of, say, spells or rituals, I first want to look around what I have in my own tickle trunk, because there's usually you guys have it, and sometimes it's just right up in your cupboard, in your spice cupboard. So you have it already. So you don't have to go out and spend loads of money or get a special ritual candle and or anything like that, unless you absolutely want to. I mean, I know I love to get some of those ritual candles and stuff like that. I mean, some of them are quite beautiful. So, but I find if you have it, let's use it. Let's utilize what you do have. I do have a beautiful balsam fir uh, candle going, and that's, the fir, the balsam fir. So if you get a balsam fir candle, it is really great for bringing in protection and bringing in that light, and of course the smell of the greenery in through your home. It just smells absolutely wonderful. So something like that is really nice to have if you want to go out and get something like that. Absolutely, absolutely. um so let's look at, like, what is that? That's something else that I'm working on. That's not what I'm working on today. Today we have not only the new moon in Sagittarius, we also have Mercury's going to be going retrograde. Now, this Mercury retrograde is going to be very unique. It is at 8 degrees. 8 degrees is in Capricorn, a very it's a very poignant point, because it's come up a lot in the astrology in the last several years, and especially on January 12th, 2020. That's where the South Node was, when there was the big conjunction with Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. And so there's this energy of this 8-degree point, and this is where Mercury is going to go retrograde. Now, this Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, as it's going to go all the way back to 22 degrees Sagittarius, this is going to be a revealing time. There's going to be information that's going to be revealed, and even information I'm going to say information for ourselves, because we want to work on what we are wanting to create within our own realm. And this new moon is, has, not only the Mars is there, we did have the the star and moon conjunction not long ago in Scorpio, this new moon is making a square to Neptune, and it's not exact, but it's, it's a couple degrees off, but it's bringing in that part of Pisces, right? So we've had a lot of um coming into what we are going to get grips on, what is believable within our own lives, what we believe in, what is that tangible things, and for ourselves to bring forth into our world. Now, making sure to have the grip that is on our reality, and that's so important, especially with this new moon. This new moon is a moon that wants us to ascend higher, to move higher within our own selves, within our own spirituality, and within our higher learning. This is a moon that wants to bring in education, wants to bring forth direction and trust in the direction that we are wanting to go into. This moon is where identification can feel hard for some people, having to identify um, their belief systems and not fall into others and what they believe and how they want to believe, because you don't want to be left out. You don't want to be on the outside of the fence. You want to be on the inside of the fence instead of making your own fence and making your own circle. If you ever saw the movie In-Laws, or In-Laws, I think, two or whatever, they talk about the inner circle, to be in the inner circle, right? And sometimes you don't want to be on that person's inner circle. You want to go and create your own inner circle instead of having to be reliant on somebody else's inner circle. This is also where weird things, we're coming off the North Node and Eris in Aries. I mean, that's a little bit of weirdness. I'm not going to go into that weirdness right now, because I know it'll freak people out. But it brings in a lot of really weird things and people projecting weirdness onto others. And this is where, with this energy that we want to bring forth and that we want to create, we want to start looking at, what are my values? What are those things that we have been maybe hanging on to, that are delusional, that are no longer of service to us, that need to be let go of, and bringing forth a transformed something that is of growth, a of positivity, of joy, of letting go. And there's something about letting go of resentment, of anything to do with resentment. This is coming into a place, and especially, we got the galactic point, that is, the galactic center. We have a Taurus here. We have so much here to understand. And even with, and especially, where Venus is, she's not happy. She's in Scorpio. And there's, she's doing a weird sussy quadrant to, I think it is, to Neptune. No, it's to Uranus, because Uranus has really been a part of these new moons over the past several years, in making some kind of square, opposition, or trine, something like it. I mean, this one is a quincunx. So Uranus has been really much a part of a lot of these new moons, because it wants to push us into something new. It wants to push us into bringing forth something that is more true to ourselves and what we value. What are your values? Not necessarily not the values of maybe what's on social media, the values that is on the news, or the values anywhere else. This is your values, on where you are wanting to, that that you align to. And that is so important to get clear on that. It's so important to get your clarity on this. If you don't have clarity on your values, well, we have to do a little bit of work. We have to start looking at, what's important in your life. Um, and how that importance plays in your world, right? So, and just by looking at what you put ahead of other people, shows you what your values are as well. So, we are in a place where we have to own our own ethics and our values. And this is where, in a world that is that the values are deeply at the bottom. I'm going to say a lot of the values are at the bottom of the barrel. This is where we have to continue to move forward. And this is where, even with Venus and the semi square is actually to Pluto with Venus. And that is a slow reveal because of the way Pluto moves. So there's a slow reveal that is within our world, in how we are making our world grow, in coming in. Of course, Venus comes in with our values and what we really want to hold true to. And being in Scorpio is like, it's kind of hard. It's like, it's where am I going to push my boundaries, and where am I going to keep my boundaries up? This is really fucking wild, with this all, and how things can go off the rails. But again, as I say, this new moon is really wanting to show us a greater pathway, a better way, a more spiritual, in-depth energy than what we have done before. So this is where if you have any prayer candles. Now, prayer candles are these little tiny ones about this size. You can use a tea light if you wish. But I was going to use the little prayer ones. I was going to use the white one. Now, what I'm going to do is I have my special little ritual oil, which I made myself. So I have my own little special ritual that I use for uh I use this to putting on my candles. I use it sometimes on my other magical tools, just to empower them, cleanse them, clear them. This is where it is really good for any divination work. And whew, oh, it smells so good. And bringing in the divination work. Now I have 2 pieces of paper towel that I've laid down in front of me, because I'm going to make a little bit of a mess here. So I have my candle, and what I do, it's called dressing your candle. Now I'm going to dress my candle up. I'm not dressing my candle down. Okay. The difference is if I'm dressing my candle up, I'm bringing forth what I am wanting to bring forth into my life. If I'm dressing my candle down and pushing the oils down, then I'm pushing away what it is that I no longer desire. So this is where I'm looking at, what do I want to create and what do I want to bring in? So for me, it is, and I wrote this down the other day because I was looking at a few things, is wanting to bring in mystical and magical, making a prosperous life and living in more harmony. So I want to bring in more harmony, and let's begin an adventure. Which I know that could be a lot, and that's saying a lot, especially for a lot of things that have gone into my life, but not sure what it is or looks like. But this is bringing in the mystical and magical and making a prosperous life, and allowing for a prosperous life to come forth and unfold in a harmonious, joyous, loving way. So that's the intention for this new moon. So I take the oil and I just do a couple drops. I'm going to do 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And it's on there. And so I'm going to take and I'm just going to rub that oil in and all the way up onto the wick. And as I'm doing that, and I'm just thinking of the prosperity. I'm thinking of, what is it, the prosperity? Laughter, harmony. I'm thinking of family events and having, fun with family events. I'm thinking of holidays and going on family holidays. Thinking of just having, beautiful meals, connection with friends, being able to do what I do full time, and what that looks like, what that feels like. It feels so wondrous. It feels so joyous. So bringing in that feeling of what it feels like, right? And I'm allowing to let it begin. I'm allowing for this adventure, this newness to begin. And I'm looking at in putting this energy out there that by the Sag full moon, which is going to be within 6 months, by the Sag full moon, that I am going to, this is between new moon and the full moon in Sagittarius, that I am going to bring forth this prosperity and this harmony and this adventure into my life, and wanting to bring forth a renewal of spirit and a renewal of love. So as you're doing that, you're thinking about that. Now, what I'm going to do is that I have a pen here, and on the side of the pen, on the side of the, I'm going to just mark in here. I'm just going to do a chokare. I want to do a chokare. So I'm going to do a chokare on this, and I'm going to put 3 chokares. And the chokare is going to help me to cut through. So the chokare is going to help me to cut through for anything and bring forth a protection. So I'm going to bring in the chokare. And I'm doing it 3 times, and inside and in I'm doing chokare, 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 chokare. So every time I do the chokare on there, I'm doing it 3 times. Then I want to bring forth an equal arm cross. And the equal arm cross to allow for not only protection, but I'm wanting to bring forth that peace and that harmony into my world. There we go. There we go. Now, if there's a name or anything that you want to put on your candle, you could do it at that time, but I don't have a name. So what I'm going to do now is I have, we're going to do something with an apple, and I have cinnamon, nutmeg, and I have cloves. All right. So cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. That and on here, what I'm going to use is that I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon onto my paper towel. Oh. And I'm going to take my candle and I'm going to roll my candle into that. That's one of the reasons why you have the paper towel there. So there you go. And your candle looks like that. Now, if you wanted to add any flowers or anything else like that, if you have any other herbs and stuff, you can add whatever herbs on there. If you have some crushed roses, you can add some crushed roses. The other thing is that the oil has it helping it to stick. And now I have my nutmeg. So a little bit of nutmeg. And I've been putting nutmeg and cinnamon on top of my coffee lately. And I love it. I love it. So now, before you begin any ritual, hello, Dana, make sure you gather all your stuff, right? Gather your candle, go around, look around for all the stuff that you have, and just take a look around. Now, I'm going to roll this in the nutmeg. Okay, there you go. So now it's rolled in nutmeg. The reason why I use cinnamon and nutmeg, cinnamon is really beautiful for not only bringing in the prosperity into your home. I mean, I have cinnamon sticks put out around my house that I've gotten and I glued together and I tie with a little ribbon. Cinnamon brings in protection. All right. Nutmeg is another one that is a beautiful one for protection as well. Let me see, spiritual. So the magical properties of your nutmeg, that can help. It brings in clarity. It brings in focus. It brings in intuition, brings in spiritual boost. And it's also really good if you're fearful of anything. So it's letting go of fear, and it helps to boost your confidence with anything that you're doing. Now I got a little tea candle here, and I'm going to put that in there. And there we go. Now I'm going to have to do some maneuver. It's like some MacGyvering with this. There you go. So I have that. So what I'm going to do now is I have that lit, is that I'm going to call in the people I want, right? Yay, Dana's feeling better today. That's awesome. I want to call in my guides. So I want to call in the energies of the east, the energies of the south, the energies of the west, and the energies of the north. I'm calling forth the angels I'm going to call him forth. Archangel Uriel. Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. I'm calling forth the 4 angels to come forth to be with me, to surround me, protect me in all that I am doing, and to lift up my spell today up into the heavens. Okay. Now you can make this a little bit more formal. I'm in a very tight squeeze space, so I'm not, doing the whole theatrical thing. So I'm going to light my candle. All right. Now here I have my little tiny, this is my, whoops. This is my little goddess. And she is my little sage bowl that I have. And just dropping everything. Don't start anything on fire, Mary. So, and what I'm going to do is that I already saged before, but I'm going to just sage again. And just bringing forth that harmony, lighting the fire, lighting the air. The smoke is the air, bringing forth that the energies of air, the energies of fire. I have water. That's my coffee. I'm cheating. So I have the water, and I have the earth. Is that of the ashes, and the cinnamon and the nutmeg. So we have that. So we have the earth. So I want to cleanse and clear and to open myself to whatever knowledge that needs to come to me from the highest good, from my higher guides, so that they can guide me through this day and through the days coming forth. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to put this aside so I don't knock her over, is that I have an apple here. Now, this apple is going to have in it, right? So we have the apple here, and we're going to cut the apple, and we're cutting it in half. We're not cutting it this way. We're cutting it in half, and I'll show you why. We're cutting it in half because it has a star inside, right? So we want the star. Want the star, all right? So you have the little star, and that's what you want to have. You want the star. Now we're going to set that aside. And what we're going to do now, I said to have everything. I'm going to cheat right now. Is that I want you to have a piece of paper. All right. Good morning. So have your piece of paper. Now I'm going to just make this a little smaller. Now, if you want a pretty piece of paper, you can get a pretty piece of paper. You can get whatever type of paper that you want and stuff. So you can do that. All right. So here we go. So we have the piece of paper here. Right. And I'm going to write down what I was saying before. I got ashes all over you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do a little cleanup here. So this is where I want mystical. So on this, I'm going to write on here, new moon. New moon. Got to move this all out of my way. New moon. Sag. I'm going to write down the date, December 12th, 2023. The time, 10:40 a.m. To me, these little things are important, right? I'm writing down, this is when I'm doing it. The sun is out, the sun's bright. Now, if you have a book of shadows, or if you have a book that you keep track of what you do when you're doing these little spells, or you're doing any of these manifestations, or whatever you want to call it, because it's all the same thing with a different name. Just saying. This is where you would write down in your little magical records what kind of weather it is. Did you have any music playing? I don't have music playing because I am online. And, but if you're doing this on your own, maybe you have some background music or you have some Christmas music playing, whatever it is. You write that down, okay? Because that's all part of the energy of what you're working with. So you would write that down. So I got the sun is bright and it's a bit chilly out. You can get down to what's the temperature, -4, -10, -30, whatever. So you write whatever it is down. Then you write down on here, what is it that I'm wanting to put into my apple? So I'm wanting to put in mystical and magical, making a prosperous life, living in harmony, joy, love, and laughter. Then I'm going to write, let the adventure begin. Now, if you want, you can also put down on here, okay, if you have a deity that you are wanting to work with this one, you could put down a deity. So if you want to work with Athena, Prosperous, Diana, do you want to work with Sophia? Do you want to work with the Blessed Virgin Mary? Do you want to work with Mary Magdalene? Whatever deity, maybe you want to work with Zeus or Thor, or maybe there's another god that you want to bring forth, or maybe you want to bring in a god and a goddess. Disclaimer: if you are wanting to bring in more than one deity that you want to work with, do some background check. Okay. You just don't want to bring in a god and a goddess together. Like, I mean, I would not say I wanted to work with Medusa. Medusa is a beautiful, beautiful goddess, understanding her history and everything else. But I'm not going to bring Medusa in with Zeus. I'm not going to bring Medusa in with Neptune. No, I mean, no, just you got to do the history there. It just wouldn't work out too well because for one, she don't like those boys. So maybe you want to bring in more of a god of love, to bring forth the love and the healing, because maybe you feel wronged like Medusa was wronged, right? So maybe there's some healing. So Medusa would be really, I know she seems like, of course, we know the mythology and everything about it, but when we look at the unjust that happened to her, and maybe there's some unjust that you're working on in your life, so she might be a really beautiful goddess to bring forth and work with, right? So this is what I say, like, do a little about background check before you bring in two different deities. And you're not necessarily going to bring in a deity from um say a a Gaelic deity, an Irish deity, necessarily with a Greek one. You might find a similar deity, maybe with a different name. So go, if you're working with the path of the Irish, look for the Irish ones, because then you're going to be paying homage to them. If you are working with the Greek ones or the Roman ones or the Egyptian ones or the Hindi ones, or the Native American ones, do your homework on the ones that you want to do and the ones that you are wanting to bring forth. I brought in the angels. Okay. So I brought in Michael and Gabriel and Uriel and Raphael to come in, not only for protection, but to help me. But I will ask, okay, and this is where, it's like, okay, is there a specific angel I want to bring forth? Because angels work a little bit better together than gods and goddesses. Just an FYI, and that's just from my own experiences of things that have gone sideways. Just saying. So maybe I want to bring in another angel, and maybe I want to bring in, as I'm thinking of, is there a particular, I can even ask, I can go angels, angels, angels. Is there a particular angel that wants to come forth and work with me and guide me through this mystical, magical part of my life to bring forth the prosperity in my life, the love and the harmony? Thank you. And I did get an angel. It's Archangel Ariel. So Archangel Ariel wants to work with me. So I'm going to ask for Archangel Ariel, and I will put her name down. And I was kind of thinking of her, but I couldn't remember her name. It's like, well, there is an angel, and I just feel it, but I couldn't remember. And I was getting all the other ones. I got Zadkiel, and I got, Metatron, and all of the other guys coming forth. But I'm like, no, it's somebody, and it wasn't Jophiel. And as soon as I got quiet, she came in. All right. So the next thing is that I'm going to take this and I'm going to just fold it up. And if you want, you can add your little bit of oil on there. Just a couple drops of oil. There we go. And there we go. Rub that in nicely. Okay. Now, remember I cut the apple in half? So here with the apple, I'm going to put a little bit of nutmeg. Now, if I wanted to, I'm just thinking I could have put some sugar on here. I could add some black pepper if I wanted to add some black pepper on there. I'm going to add a little bit of, I got a lot of cinnamon down in front of me that I used on my candle. So I'm going to add the cinnamon. Waste not, want not, as my mother would say. And add some more onto this side. Now, if there's other herbs or stuff that you want to use, definitely you can use that. So now I got the two sides. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the middle of my apple. Now, the reason I'm using an apple, because an apple is kind of like forbidden fruit, so they say. But actually, they never even, if you go back into any of the old texts, they didn't say what kind of fruit it was. It more than likely what would be a pomegranate, because the pomegranate was known as the fruit with wisdom because it holds many seeds, and when you cut it open, it looks like a uterus with the seeds coming out from it. So the seeds of wisdom. But I'm using a apple is because it does have the star inside, and I want to be able to follow the star, and I want the star to be my guidance. So asking for the star to be my guidance and the star of protection. The apple is also known for knowledge. So also to bring the knowledge that I would love to have upon my journey, upon my mystical magical journey. Now, I have twine. Now you can use whatever twine you want. If you only have embroidery thread, use the embroidery thread. If you only have, baker's twine, use baker's twine or whatever you have. Look around. Maybe you only have, uh, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's some wool, or maybe you just have thread, right? So whatever it is. So I'm holding it there and I'm going around. It's going to take a little bit. But what I'm going to do is that for my first one, I'm going to tie a little knot at the top. All right. So that they're together. So, and then I'm going to wrap it down this way. Say 4. And it's going to take you a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. So for my type A personalities, just go with it. And if you want to use an orange, there's another one that you can use an orange with. Okay, this isn't 20 because I'm on camera. Okay, hang on here. Bear with me, everybody. But you wrap it up. So we're going to wrap it up twice. 1, 2. I'm going to go this way. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to go this way. So there we go. So I got it done. Oh, I do have scissors. I always have scissors around. Never have scissors far away. So there we go. So I have that. And I'm just adding some, there we go. Adding some wax on there. Just to bind it. From my candle. I'm doing a spell, Cynthia, for the new moon. So wanting to bind this together for the apple to guide me. Now, what you can use and you want to set into, and this is kind of a fun spot. Here, smell that. You want to smell this? It's cloves. So what are cloves? Cloves are another beautiful magical herb that usually a lot of people have in their so cloves, again, they're for purification, they're for protection, they're for spiritual healing, they're for protection of a spell, right? Scratch and sniff. So if in doing this, what this does is that the cloves bring in the protection of my spell. Now, you poke in. And as I'm poking this in, I'm asking for the protection of my spell. I'm calling in my angels and my guides to help with the protection of this spell, to bring forth the mystical and magical and a prosperous life. And I'm opening up to the prosperity. Like I'm opening up to different types of prosperity to come into my life. I'm wanting to bring in joy. I'm wanting to bring in harmony. Okay, have fun with your daughter. Bring in joy and harmony. I want to bring forth love and laughter with this. So 1, 2, 3. So there we go. And you just stick them in however they will go in. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I want to have 13 in. There you go. That's 13. So I put 13 in. And I'm also going to bring my candle over. And I'm going to seal this. And I'm just dropping the wax over my apple. I don't want to start anything on fire. I just want to do this. Just allow for the wax to drop. Sealing it, binding it. and sealing it, binding it. So I got the bottom bound with the wax, and I got the top bound with the wax. Ooh, it's making it nice. And if you wanted to add any more wax on there, you can, if you wish to do that. You don't have to if you don't want to. All right, so there's my little apple, and just allowing. So, and then I could just add a little blessing here. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless my spell and my spell today. As I walk forward within this new moon to bring forth the prosperity and abundance, the love and the joy and the happiness and the laughter into my life, in all that I say and all that I be and all that I do. I thank Archangel Ariel for stepping forward, for being my guide at this time. And I ask for her blessings, and that I am able to bring forth joy and wisdom to her and bring forth a service to her. And that in doing so, that she can bring forth joy and service and for me. So what I want to do is bless me, Mother, and bless me for this opportunity, for allowing me to be of service, and bless me, Archangel Ariel, for me, for being of service. And can I serve you enough to meet my needs each and every day and more? Blessings. So just off the top of my head, right? If you want, to have a written one, I don't have it. This is just, I'm just going off the top of my head, and from my own experience. And so anything that I have left over, of course, I can still use those cloves. And I'm going to just do a little bit of saging again. And that prayer candle that I lit, thank you. And this is, I'm also saging that anybody who wants to come to watch this on the replay, that they come and watch with an open heart and an open mind, and that it hopefully can serve them and help and guide them in their world. So, and then I just put the cap on there. And then what I would do is that I would put this up onto my altar. And the thing is, the apple's going to dry out. All right. Just keep an eye on it. Just the apple's going to dry out. And I'm hoping it dries out, because I'm looking at it for the full moon in Sagittarius. And the full moon in Sagittarius is in May of next year. So, wanting to bring forth and keeping track of what I am doing. And then on each moon, so now that's sort of a big picture. So on each moon, I'm going to say, so between this moon and the next new moon, which will be in Capricorn, what is it that I want to create? And that'll be in the new year. So the new moon that is coming in Capricorn is in January. So between this, what are the steps I want to do to create prosperity in my life? What do I want to do? What are those little things I want to start doing? And I can start making a little list of the things that I want to start to do. So what are the things? It could be that, oh, well, hey, I'm having a Yuletide dinner. I'm inviting people to come over to a Yuletide dinner, and I'm having a potluck. It's bringing forth family and friends and laughter. So I want to bring forth family, friends, and laughter into what I'm doing. What else do I want to do? So I want to bring forth, just sort of take your time and noodle over different things that you want to start to incorporate more so into your life to bring forth the prosperity and abundance. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Because prosperity is not just money, right? You want to get into a feeling, you want to get into that alignment. What does that feel like? So let's get into, I want to get into, okay, I want to feel that prosperity. So what is it? So what is it? How is it? So that's all part of it. And then when it comes out in May, what I'm hoping to do with this is that I want to put it into the fire. So I want to put it into a fire, and I want to burn it and set it up and set it free, as they say. So there we go. So we have that. So that is a little ritual for you guys, and just bringing in some funness into your new moon. Now, before we go, Putting everything aside. Oops. Oh, my pen is all full of. So this is why you want to have paper towels here, because it brings in an easy cleanup. Now, if you want to, if you have an angel wheel and you want to set up your angel wheel, you can set up your angel wheel. Beautiful day to set up an angel wheel. For those who've worked within the angel wheel and done angel work with me, the angel wheel is such a beautiful energy, and this would be very nice to be working with your angel wheel today and bringing forth the angels. I think that's why they kept coming forward for me. So let's grab the cards. I have the cards here. Oh, there they are. So let's grab the cards. So this is where it's like, now it's time to sort of sit, and then you take your cards. You can have tarot cards, you could have oracle cards, whatever cards that you have, and just do a new moon reading for yourself. Like, what is it that you need, what is it that you need to know over the next let's just do it over the next 2 weeks. What do I need to know over the next 2 weeks in order with help and guidance? So I'm opening myself, asking, so the first card is going to bring forth the direction I need over the next 2 weeks. Ooh, oh my goodness, the Two of Swords. Okay. It's funny because I was just listening to a thing on the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords. So when the Two of Swords come up, so this is what, don't get hung up on everything around you. So my direction is not to get hung up on a lot of, don't get hung up on a lot of mundane information. Allow yourself to step into that of the guidance. So allowing yourself not to get hung up and tied up, and not wanting to hear what you need to hear. So not, it's like, don't get egotistical. So this is the energy. So the Two of Swords is coming in. It's telling me, don't get egotistical. Don't get caught up in your head, right? This is where, when the Two of Swords is coming in, it's letting you know, it's like, you got, there's self-doubt. Don't get into the self-doubt. This is a balance between opposing factors. This is where, your intent and energy in one direction at this time. So allowing yourself to, merge together in the direction that you need to go into, and really watch where you are getting pulled apart, right? And this is where the next one is, what is the guidance that I need in order to do that? And I got the Nine of Wands. So knowing that the wisdom is there, knowing that the passion is there, knowing that this coming forth, that, yeah, there's a battle. There's a battle for you to be able to do this. There's a battle that's there, but you have to have the perseverance to do this. You want to bring forth the magical, mystical energy of prosperity within your life. This is having preparedness. This is being aware. So in comes the Nine of Wands, and it's saying, okay, yeah, you're going to be challenged in many different ways, but within those challenges, you have to know that you have to be prepared. You have to know what your greatest priorities are, and what are those great priorities. So here I'm like, okay, whew, I got some work to do. It's not going to be easy peasy over these next 2 weeks. This is where my angels are really setting down some guidelines for me. They're really getting me to really look at, and even for you, because you're here, you're listening to this, you're doing this ritual with me. It's like, this is what we have to do. We have to know our priority, and we have to connect with our heart center. And what is it when we connect to that heart center? What is that? Oops. Oh. Was sorry about that, guys. What does that feel like? What is that, what is that all about? So the thing is that when the Two of Swords comes up, that means I got to watch my ego. I got to watch where that balance is. What is it that I need, that I'm working on? And in comes the Nine of Wands, is saying that, but you, in doing that, you got to make sure you know what your priorities are. Know your priorities. Two of Swords, it seems easy. The Two of Swords seems like a very, oh yeah, okay, no worries. It's only, yeah, just trust my intuition. No, the Two of Swords can be a hard ass card. It could be a card because it's really working. It's the swords, and it's looking that you're not coming into a balance. You're not coming in. You are hiding away. You're not coming into your heart center. You're blocking your heart. You're blocking it. And here comes the nine and saying, yeah, there's going to be some work, and it's not going to be easy. There's going to be maybe a battle, and I keep on getting a battle. So that battle of that optimism and strength that you are wanting to have, that battle's within you. And what does that battle look like? What are you battling? Are you and that's what you start to sit back and look, well, okay, there are things that I need to put my foot down of. If I really want to have more of the happiness in my life, I got to put my foot down on some things. And it's like, well, what do you mean you have to put down your foot for happiness? Well, if I want to bring forth a better life for myself, then I got to choose differently. Because right now I'm saying I don't have it. So in order to have it, I have to choose differently. And choosing differently means that I have to look at things differently and put what is important first. And from there, comes the Ace of Swords. See, I'd rather get the Ace of Swords. That means that knowledge is coming. That means as you're doing, the information is going to come. The knowledge is there, but you're going to trust the knowledge from God. Trust that that knowledge is coming from a higher self, and that knowledge is going to show you, help you, guide you upon that road. Okay. So this is where it's like, yes, honesty, joy is there. Trust in the honesty and joy that there. And how will you use this newfound power? How are you going to utilize it? Where are you going to put it? This is a clear direction. When you start saying, I'm not going to be drawn into all of those pettiness that's around me. I'm going to really align myself into this direction, and aligning myself into this direction. Yeah, it's means I got to stick to my guns. But in doing that, I'm going to have to stand out on my own against all odds. So to have a mystical, magical life, to bring forth the prosperity into my world, I have to stand up. I have to, and it's a standing up. In doing that, that sometimes scares people, because you got to go against all odds in order to have that happiness, that joy, that laughter, that love, because other people, could be family, could be neighbors, it could be a friend, don't like it, or might think that's the silliest thing in the world for you to do. But somehow deep down inside you, you're saying, well, no, this is what I do want to do. This feels right to me. May not feel right to others, but it feels right to me. So I have to follow that. But I have to have a clear intention. So it keeps on coming up to have a clear intention on the direction I want to go into. Whew, I'm going to write that all down. Thank God I got it recorded, right? So there you go. I want you all to go out and have a mystical, magical new moon, and do a mystical, magical new moon ritual for yourself and create it. Do what I did. If you want, research, maybe do something different, but enjoy, have fun. It is a very magical, beautiful moon, and it's got a lot of love in it. So sending you out so much love, joy, peace, and happiness in your world today. I didn't put up anything really for my Advent. So I still have the meditations for $20 in January. So every Sunday we're having meditations on Sunday. And for the whole month of January, it's $20. So it's like $5 a class and they're going to be on Sunday only. I have my If you are wanting a reading for an outlook for yourself personally for 2024, it'll be about an hour and a half.
Unknown caller.
Whoops. Woo. It'll be about an hour and a half, and it will be 11:11. Oh, it's 11:11. 11:11 just came up. So make a wish, everybody. 11:11. $130 for an hour and a half reading if you're wanting to go through your 12 months. So there you go. Have a blessed one, everybody, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Ooh, let's put some music on. Bye.